Hello, my name is Joe Richter. I'm a real estate broker and an associate broker with Keller Williams Realty. I am licensed in California and Oregon. I prepare monthly reports that look at the market trends in 14 communities and market segments I call the Orange County Lifestyle Artery. This artery runs from Newport Beach to Ladera Ranch through Irvine and Trabuco Canyon. We take a close look at two areas in Newport, Harbor View and West Bay. We monitor several sections in Irvine and report on Turtle Rock and Woodbridge. Then we look at Baker Ranch, Foothill Ranch, and Portola Hills. We then look at Robinson Ranch, Rancho Cielo, and Rancho Santa Margarita. Then Dove Canyon and Coto to Caza as gated golf course communities. And finish with Ladera Ranch. Each area is broken down into subsections. For example, in Ladera we look at condos, single family under 3,250 square feet and then over 3,250 square feet. Each report takes a focused look at a specific community or neighborhood. This particular report is for Newport Beach and it's for the East Bluff Harbor View area. We call the reports current market trends. We're going to be discussing, commenting on changes over the last 30 days. The report period is from January 1st, 2020 through April 30th, 2020, the first full 4 months of the year. With the, shall I say, dramatic impacts of COVID-19 on our lifestyles these days, we've added a new section to the report that we're calling the monthly headline. And this month, we're looking at the headline of New Listings and Contracts Written Fall. It should not be considered unique to Newport. This shape on both new listings and contracts falling is very common across the other 14 communities that we monitor. Our report is intended to be a basis for seller information, buyer information, and for conversations when we are making listing presentations and consultations. Because the first question we invariably get asked, is it a buyer or seller's market? Well, Newport Beach at the moment is a seller's market. That's because it has 2.6 months of inventory. Chapman University defines a buyer's market in Southern California as being 3.5 months or more of inventory. To be honest, Newport for about 14 months was definitely a buyer's market. In January was the first time it had been a seller's market since the fall of 2018. The next thing we have to look at when we're looking at giving advice, consulting on the listing, is what is going on in the market. And that comes down to two things. What's currently active, what's the competition, and what's the trend, what's been happening over the last 90 days. We have to look at that both for new listings and closings to determine an accurate list price. Currently there are 34 active listings. There were 39 in our last report. There were 45 new listings over the last 90 days. 18 of those are still on the market. The summary is simple. New listings are down 41%, contracts written are down 25%, and closings are up 15%. We will explain each in detail in the next set of slides. To finish the thought on listing presentation, there are really three milestones that go into the buying and selling process. We have to have a new listing, we have to have a contract, which is a willing buyer, and we have to have a closing. As it relates to new listings, this set of graphs shows how we're down for the year. It shows also how we're comparing to last year, 2019, which was a pretty strong year relative to 2017, which was by far the weakest year of the last 5. And this year started off very strong, had a very strong first couple of months and then responded to the COVID-19 news and then the stay-at-home order. Similarly, contracts written are down 25% as a matter of fact, but also they started off very strong, well above either of the best or worst year, but then with the news quickly took a dive. And perhaps sadly, this year started off with tremendous closings. This means we had strong contracting in late November, early December for these, and clearly in late December and January for these to close. Strongest year in the last 5, and then we had to fall off. This fall off will continue because without new listings we can't have contracts, and without contracts we can't have closings. Each follows the other by about 35-40 days. However, we do not want to be totally negative. Fannie Mae, about the middle of April, suggested that we're going to have very strong third and fourth quarters in the housing market. So what they're saying is we're going to have a lull here, some downtime, but we have slack at the end of the year to pick it up. As mentioned before, we have to look at the 90-day activity. What's happening in the market right now? What are the mindsets of buyers and sellers? So over the last 30 days, there have been 30 closings. 24 of those closed below last list price, 4 sold at last list price, and 2 sold above. That's pretty good. That's pretty normal activity, actually. Determining a buyer or seller's market is largely decided off the months of inventory, as you've seen, as we discussed. But another component of that is what's the days on market. And days on market is the time from activating a listing to getting the purchase contract. And currently for Newport Beach, the average days on market is 120 days for the 34 active listings. It was 58 days for everything that's closed so far this year. In our last report 30 days ago, it was 101 days, and in the report before that, it was 78 days. So there's been a definite trend upward in days on market. Newport Beach is unique because of the price points and the quality of the homes. But in most markets, I would say all markets exclusive of Newport Beach, Shady Canyon, where you have the really high-priced homes, days on market should be in the 35 to 50-day range. So we have to look at inventory, and currently the year-over-year inventory number is at 2.6 months. We like to use year-over-year inventory. Even though we need to pay attention to the 90-day supply, we like year-over-year because it adjusts for the seasonality. At 2.6 months, you're well below the transition mark of 3.5 months that is the demarcation to change from a seller to buyer's market. But we also need to look at some other factors. The 90-day change is down 26%. That's pretty high. This time of year, normally it's going up because new listings are coming on. Or pretty low, I should say. The year-over-year is down 31%. That's also very low. We like to see the range from a plus 10, a positive 10, to a minus 10. And the April over April change, that just tells you that April this year is just not what April last year was. On our website, as part of this service we provide to our sellers and buyers, are predefined community listings at joe-richter.com. You can find a navigation link, predefined community listings, and click on that. You'll get the drop-down list of 14 different communities that we report on, and you can use that to come into Newport Beach. This is what your current map looks like, and this will allow you to see where the activity is and what's going on. Also, as part of that link, you get the thumbnails for all the different listings. You can click on any one of the thumbnails and see the full MLS public information on any listing. There's no doubt by now you recognize that we are the only ones that can provide this type of information. We download the raw MLS status and put it into our proprietary statistical forms and generate all kinds of tables. Nobody else can show you what we've just showed you. And this is a table that shows all the active listings in this market of Newport Beach. This is a table that shows everything that is closed so far this year. The red outlines here, highlights, those are homes that have been priced initially too high, and they fall outside this this is a statistical process of determining outliers. Those reds are outliers, but they were able to close, but they all had pretty good price reductions. And the final thing we want to show is this graph of the closings. This shows your trend line and how you need to be clustered around that trend line if you have any common sense when it comes to listing price, particularly in a market like this one. And what this shows, the red dot's the actual closing price, the gray dot was the original list price. So we trust that the information we have provided has given you the confidence to know that we have an in-depth knowledge of the real estate market in all of South Orange County as our home area. We've been in this market for almost 40 years, and we know it very, very well. We hope you now recognize we know the timing, neighborhood values, and marketing strategies needed to properly price your home and list your home so that it stands the best chance to generate the highest revenue in the shortest amount of time. As your real estate agent, we know how to take full advantage of any market condition to help you sell your house. And for you buyers out there who may be wondering where to start, well, clearly we have this market knowledge for all of South Orange County. We can help you identify the best neighborhoods and find the right homes for the next phase of your life. Please contact me. The team I work with would love to be of service. Thank you very much.